strengths that I discovered over the past year in leading through change has been the need to be resilient. None of us expected to be going through a pandemic, and so it definitely has, caused, I think, employers across the world really to pivot and learn how to be successful in a way that we had not needed to think about before. But I also think it allowed us to even look at new tools. I mean, we talk about Zoom and, different ways that we've had to learn how to operate virtually. But I don't think that we'll ever go back to the way it was before the pandemic. And I also think, the racial unrest introduced a new level of stress in addition to the pandemic. And of course, at the Akron Urban League, that's something that we focus on every day of the week, in the work that we do.
During the last year, the strengths that have surfaced are really agility and an appreciation for imperfection. Prior to the pandemic, I held a quarterly global town hall with my IT organization around the world. Of course, during the pandemic, we had to make decisions more quickly, we had to move faster, and we really wanted to keep our remote workforce engaged and up to speed. So we moved to a weekly town hall. So during the pandemic, we delivered 26 consecutive weekly town halls in a time period that we would have normally delivered 2 town halls. The net result is that our associates really felt communicated with, they felt informed, and they felt what we hoped they would feel, which was that we really cared about their well-being.
Well, during the times of change and adversity, it really, I think, reintroduced the term self-care. I think self-care is something that I try to be more intentional with, but also realizing that, everybody was sort of going through it at the same time. And so people deal with stress differently. And so certainly, leading a team, you just have to think about, what different situations your employees may be in, and, extend grace, for what people need.
I'm really proud to say that our company prioritized the health and well-being and really the safety of our associates and their families above all else. One of the things that we did is we changed the content to include strategies for coping with the pandemic. We talked about stress and anxiety and how to build resilience.
I think that as a leader, we have to be willing to adjust and change, and then look at how we might better support our staff and support the community. But at the same time, not forgetting, the importance of staying safe.
I think all of us as leaders, we need to embrace the idea that over the last year, we built new habits, and those new habits of how we work, we built those at home, and now we have this whole reintegration. We're going to reintegrate into the workplace or reintegrate into restaurants and social situations. So as a leader, I think having that ability to manage change and to recognize, just as we swiftly moved to a remote work situation, now we're going to maybe gradually move back into an office and other social situations. So as leaders, embracing change, supporting people, I think we need to continue being empathetic. That empathy that we developed as leaders during the pandemic, I'd like to see us continue that and continue really being humans with each other when we come back to the workplace.